Welcome to the guts of IONNA's headquarters in Durham, North Carolina. It's been a busy day. We have lots to show you in this video.
There's so much behind the scenes stuff, a deep dive into all that makes IONNA so awesome with a bunch of their automotive partners. I'm Liv.
I'm Patrick.
We're the electric duo. This is IONNA. Let's go. To kick things off, we are literally inside their warehouse facility where they conduct a bunch of testing here at IONNA and collaboratively with their partners. And some of their partners, 7 of their partners, in fact, are here in vehicle form and in person form. We literally are getting to deep dive vehicle-wise and in person as well. And we are about to take this Kia EV9 to, where are we going? Apex?
I think we'll do Apex because it's slightly closer.
Slightly closer.
I want to visit both. We're going to just have to come back out here and visit. My brothers live like an hour and a half away, so by the way.
But that might be a separate video. This is so intensive. We got so much information. We have been here for hours, but come, let's walk past this super bumblebee.
Yeah, it's really cool to see like all of the vehicles here that they are using for testing. Earlier, we saw them do like a power disconnect test on one of the chargers with a BMW iX. I wouldn't say I was not iX3, but iX.
They had a BMW representative here. You're actually going to hear from them, and they had a whole room full of iX3s here before because they will get vehicles that aren't even properly out on the market to test them, because that's one of the benefits of IONNA.
And we're going to spin around.
Spin slowly. Is that there are no surprises. They know what's coming. IONNA knows what's coming. So it's not going to be like surprise vehicles on the market. Because of their 8 OEM partnership, they know all the vehicles really that are coming out, and they're testing with them. So everything's going to be seamless. There's a whole lot to dive into today.
Jump into some things, and then we're going to talk to the CEO, some other people. So we're gonna dive into that too. But it's been a fantastic day so far.
So come along.
I wanted to pause right here in the video before we get to some of the interviews and other stuff that we have coming up in this video. And that's just because we had over 2 hours of presentations while we were at IONNA, and that includes from IONNA execs, their engineers, as well as from the OEMs that are partners in the IONNA project, I guess we'll say. But I did want to give you a little bit of a preview of some of the stuff that we're going to cover in another video that's going to be a deep dive, including all of that information in those presentations. One of the things that he mentioned in the presentation throughout is their target to have 30,000 high power bays by 2030. And what was really cool is they talked about the current status. They have 4,000 bays under contract. Of those 4,000, over 3,000 are in the permitting or utility application stage, 1,200 bays in actual construction, and they already have 500 bays energized. When we got there, they had 45 sites energized and active online. By the end of the day, they had 49. They literally activated 4 more stations to bring the total up to 49 active IONNA stations already. And if you go to the IONNA website, you can sort of see where the current ones are at, where they're coming, some of the ones that are coming soon. They just did a tour of California because they have several that are coming very soon, including one that's about 4 miles from our house. They also released some information about some of their target areas. From the previous map, you could see that they are, they're putting some in Utah, Kansas, those type of areas, but they also mentioned some of the cities that they are targeting. We'll list these down in the description, but also you can see them right here. And I went ahead and took those cities, laid them all out on a map so you can sort of see. Now, going back to the list, they wanted to emphasize that it's phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 as they're listed. Of course, they're going to give a little bit higher priority to phase 1, but that does not mean that they have to complete phase 1 before they go to phase 2. They will be dipping into the phase 2 and the phase 3 as opportunities arise to be able to deploy those stations quickly. And throughout the day, they kept on talking about, we want to just deploy things quickly. So if there's an opportunity that comes up, in a place, whether it's in phase 2 or phase 3, they're going to go for it, but they are emphasizing the ones they're actively seeking are the phase 1 sites for now. They also mentioned, of course, they're going for corridors, they're going for places where people are vacationing. The other thing they mentioned, like the cities that they're targeting, they said some of the cities may take maybe 5, 6, 7 stations to be sort of complete in their eyes. And that's, of course, like looking at their current, charging landscape in that city. Other cities have a lack of charging, so they may need to put 20 to 30 stations in that area. So very flexible in the way that they're deploying it. But again, the main thing to take away from all of this is how quickly they're deploying these and the current state of already having 49 stations out there. So now let's jump in to the interviews. So I'm really excited now because this is Seth, the CEO of IONNA. I'll just go ahead and tell you, we've learned a lot today. The IONNA team has been great. We've had some of the auto manufacturers, but this is our chance to talk to Seth. So first of all, introduce yourself and I mean, we know CEO. You're the man in charge.
Actually, the team's in charge. I just play the role. But no, I appreciate you being here today. Seth Cutler, CEO of IONNA. Been with the company from day one. It's almost been 2 years. Been in e-mobility for 15 years. I'm a big proponent of e-mobility and electrification, and I think we have a huge opportunity as IONNA to really revolutionize charging in the United States and beyond.
Now you sort of chuckled and like the team is in charge, but I'll just tell you guys, I really do get that sense from the team and you today, and your body language is sort of like watching the team and watching them give us briefings, talk to other media. So first of all, kudos for that. It seems like you're walking the walk, talking the talk, all of that.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of building high performing teams, right? You look at whether it's racing, whether you look at sports teams, it's all about how do you take a group of people, bring them together to go win a ball game or win a competition. And that's really what we've tried to do with IONNA from day one, is build a culture that enables really intelligent people to come together to do something totally different in the marketplace and really magical. And so that's why I make those comments. It's not just me saying it, it's really real. And you see that when you look at all the folks behind us, that they're working, motivated to try to do something special in this marketplace.
And so far, it's been something really special. You guys have been, we were one of the ones on day one going let's see that happen. But you guys are hitting some good goals.
Yep.
Yeah, 45 sites open and
49 today.
49 today.
4 going today.
We've heard that numerous times.
I'm waiting for the gong to go off. That's how I know.
That's so cool. But you guys are pushing it. So far, we have viewers. We've actually charged once at IONNA. But the experience has been really good. But that's sort of you guys are hitting all of the check boxes as you're, doing the deployment.
Yeah, look, it was really important early on when we started the company to make sure that we never sacrificed on the customer quality, right? And we always put that kind of top of mind. And we even from early on, we took folks on a ride and drive from Raleigh to Charlotte, trying out different competitor charging stations so they could experience it. We tried to promote folks to use EVs. All the EVs that we have in the lab, people take home on a regular basis. We encourage them to take it on road trips. We want the company to understand, if they don't have an EV at home already, and most of them do, what the consumer feels, right? We're a 2 EV family as well. We've been for years. And so really these are folks that want to make charging better, not just for customers, but honestly, selfishly for themselves. They understand what customers are going through right now on a pain point basis, and they're trying to make it better.
Yeah, and another term that we heard a lot today was IONNA speed.
Yeah.
And even your partners know the word IONNA speed. And talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, look, I think this idea of IONNA speed started really early on, which is it's a bias towards action. It's very easy for an organization to get crippled with a decision to make, right? Large organizations all the time, they'll have meetings.
Table this for next week.
Yeah, let's take that offline. Let's have another meeting about it. And we'll be in meetings all the time. I'll say, no one leaves the room to make a decision. And if we have to be here for 8 hours, that's fine. But we're not going to wait till tomorrow. And I think that's what's allowed us to go really fast, where when you're designing a charging site and they say, hey, it was supposed to be 14 charging bays, but if we do it for 12 charging bays, we can get a permit next week. I mean, there were times where you look at other organizations, that could be a 6-month process to analyze it and the risk trade-off or the trade-off benefits. And we go, what is the number one goal? The number one goal is to drive value to customers at scale as fast as possible. Okay, let's go make a decision in that vein. And so that's this idea of IONNA speed, which is a bias towards action, a determination to deliver customer value in electrification.
And the Westminster site out in LA area, you guys mentioned that it's 999 square feet because it was 1,000 or more.
And you want to get the permit.
Yeah.
So we made a decision very fast. They came back and said it was 1,000. We said, take out a spare foot, make the building smaller, go get the permit. And we went from 0 to 9 months on a groundbreaking. We submitted that site for permitting end of March of this year and started groundbreaking last week, right? And that's really a testament to the team and also the partnership that we built with the city of Westminster to make that possible.
That's very cool. Now, during one of the Q&As, Tom Malogny with State of Charge, watch his video, I know he's doing one as well, but he asked, is like, you guys have a goal of 30,000 ports by 2030. Will you, are you going to be on target to do that? That's a lot per year. Now, your answer was like, yes, we will. But I was sitting close to you and I could see this like smirk on your face that was like, I'll just interpret it was like, hell yeah, we will. It seems like you have a lot of confidence that that's going to happen and at a great pace, but quality, keeping all of those things like in alignment as well.
Yeah, look, the people we have here are high performers. We want to make this thing successful. So we know it's very ambitious. We also know that in 22 months, we went from one employee trying to figure out how to do payroll and hiring to what we have now, which is over 4,000 charging-based contractors across the U.S., 3,000 in permitting or beyond. So almost 50 sites will be live today, and 60 plus more in construction, 70 plus more in construction. So, and that was with half a team. We have a full team now, right? We have a full ball team now that's out there playing on the field. So I know now that as we start to go into next year, we can really scale this thing, and there's things that we're working on that I think will help propel us. And we love a good challenge. This team loves a good challenge.
Yeah, it seems like it. Like everybody seems really up for this. Now, the other thing is like you're working with eight manufacturers, and they all have their own input. But we've talked to some of them, and they sort of mentioned like you have your board meeting and you'll come in and they're some would say like they're the bosses, but you come in and go like, all right, this is what needs to be done, and this is like who's not, up to speed on whatever feature you guys are rolling out. So it goes two ways.
It does go two ways, yeah. It's a team sport, right? At the end of the day, what I love about IONNA and what we've built with the OEMs and the collaboration is that it's not about 8 bosses, it's about 8 partners. And I said that, I remember in an early interview, and people I think rolled their eyes like, yeah, okay, sure it is. But it really is though, and you heard it today from the board members that were on the panel around, we will have tough conversations. There's friction involved. We'll do a board dinner the night before, we'll do a board meeting, and we'll go through, hey, where are we at? Because I have to deliver with a team a network quality at scale. That's what I have to deliver. And what we have to deliver together, though, is really an integrated solution that goes beyond just the charger, but into the vehicle and beyond their customers, right? And so we'll have those hard conversations. But those hard conversations are what's required to be successful, right? Because we're all playing the same sport right now, which is let's go make charging right.
So to get those 30,000 ports, though, I know there's going to be obstacles along the way.
Absolutely.
What do you see as like one of the biggest, or maybe the top 2, 3 obstacles that would slow you down? Like what?
It's typical in the industry right now. It's all about power and permits. Right? How do you make sure you get the permits as fast as possible and get interconnected with utilities as fast as possible? That's been a long thing in the industry. We found ways to get our designs more streamlined, to engage with utilities faster and permitting offices faster, so we make sure we can get through faster. But that will probably be the hardest part. But I think it starts with signing sites. You can't build them unless you sign them. Yeah. We're well under the way in terms of how many we've signed. We have a lot more to go do. But we're constantly looking at what I call leading indicators to know, hey, are we signing a site a day to make sure that we're on the right trajectory to get there.
And of course, the big number is just like how many ports you're deploying. But as far as uptime, station reliability, what other like key performance indicators do you guys have that are like, this is us being successful?
Yeah. We do focus. So we've built into our kind of our ethos. We do focus groups on a regular basis, customer clinics. We do these customer engagement site visits on a regular basis as well. So we're constantly talking to customers and collecting feedback. And what we're looking for is not praise. We're trying to pull out the negatives every single time, because I don't care how well we think we're doing, we're never doing enough. And we're constantly pushing, do better. What could we do better at? And so we will proactively go out and try to find that by talking to actual drivers that are using our assets.
Yeah, and you guys we're in the lab. You guys have even had people come in here and test stuff out. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and that's a regular thing that we'll do as we roll out firmware, roll out new features. We just did that. We're rolling stuff out for next year that we kind of hinted at today. And we just did a focus group. I think it was like 2 days before Thanksgiving. We've got customer clinics planned in short order as well to complement that. So it's all part of how we go to market.
Yeah, and from what we've heard today, You guys are making a lot of quick decisions, but you're also very open to, rethinking decisions, because it's always been like, there's not going to be an IONNA app, but it's like, it's never say never. So you guys are open to changes and things like that. How is that being driven? Like, is it through customer feedback?
Yeah. I mean, the app is a great example where early on we said, hey, is the app going to help us get sites built faster? No. Is it going to help deliver better quality? Well, probably not. Then we're not doing that right now. Okay, now we've got sites live. So now the question will be is, if we develop an app, how will it benefit the driver? Will it actually benefit the driver, or do we think it's going to benefit us? If it benefits us, we're not doing it. If we actually think we can drive real value to a customer by an IONNA app, then for sure we will go out and develop one. We haven't found out what that is yet, and I think we still have more work to do integration-wise with the OEMs on P&C. We've got 7 now. We'll have 9 into the next year, maybe even faster. There's other things we're launching with them integration-wise that we're prioritizing. But to some of the team that you heard today, the never say never part is we will constantly look and see if we can do something that can add value to a customer, we'll do it.
That sounds great. Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I see Tom Malogny. We're going to get him over here. Again, watch his video. We're learning from your team, but also the other creators here. But again, thank you guys for hosting this.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Very, very much appreciative that you open doors, completely open with the entire team. So we
Absolutely.
really
Thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We're going to spend a few minutes talking to Ricardo.
Yep.
And introduce yourself for our viewers. We saw you a couple of weeks ago in Oceanside at a grand pre-opening, but nobody else got to see that. So who are you?
Yeah, I'm Ricardo Stamatti. I'm the Chief Technology and Product Officer for IONNA. And you're right, it was, like a week and a half? The Thanksgiving in between. So it feels like shorter, but it was really, longer than maybe 2 weeks ago that we happened to be at Vista. No, actually, we were doing, Oceanside. Sorry, not Vista. Vista's close to Oceanside. When we were doing the breaking ground for Oceanside, even though it's a site that's very close to being finished, then you guys were part of that event. In fact, I think we have the plaque somewhere here that you helped us sign.
We did.
We
found it.
You found it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Then we're actually going to put that back on the site. It's going to be up there forever.
And that was part, and we'll start with that because that was part of the Grand Tour of California. Mm-hmm. You guys are putting in multiple sites and announcing, doing groundbreakings, including the beacon.
Yeah.
I think let's talk about that because that's something that we haven't seen from IONNA. So
not yet. Yeah. So that's going to be the Halo product for IONNA. And you heard us talk a little bit about that this morning in more detail. So the Westminster beacon is our first beacon. It's you're going to see those in key markets, maybe more than a couple per market, 20 base plus, right? It's going to be hyper-local as well. So the case of the Westminster beacon, not only is it right next to an In-N-Out, but it has a big outdoor area because it's California weather. So for example, if I take you to the other coast and we do something in Boston, whenever we do the Boston beacon, might not be as big on the outdoor area, might have a bigger indoor area, right? But back to Westminster, In-N-Out right next door, great outdoor area. It will have a recharging market, which will be a second generation of our collaboration with Amazon, with Just Walk Out technology. You can see the 1.0 version of that right here at Garner, North Carolina. Canopies that cover the whole site, pull-through charging, pet waste stations. You can walk your dog, outdoor seating, outdoor pavilion, really anything and everything you could want out of whether it's a 5-minute charge, if we're talking about, you really don't have to fill up your battery too fast, you have a really next generation car, or it's a 20-25 minute stay. It's got everything you need.
Yeah, and that was something that was emphasized several times today is even if we get faster, more range, faster charging cars, you guys still see a value in having a rechargery or a beacon. And then the other thing is we've seen people talking about you had your Apex and your Garner, and then now we see a lot of relays. And if you guys don't know what the relays are, they're just chargers in a parking lot next to some amenities, but it's not the full IONNA thing. But they're oh, that's what they're you guys are just going to put in a bunch of those. But you really are targeting rechargeries, beacons, and that full experience, as well as partners like Sheetz.
100%. So if you take rechargery at, which is, for example, at Sheetz, at Wawa, and the reason we name it a rechargery at is because when you hear the name of the partner, Sheetz, Wawa, Kate, more coming soon, right? You know what that experience is because they've done such a great job at branding themselves, and you immediately know what you're getting, right? So when you take rechargery ad, and you take the beacons, that's going to be 70 to 80% of the IONNA network nationwide. The relays are really just going to be the infill, sort of the fabric in between. And actually the relays, we shouldn't talk them down. They really are, compared to charging today, a better experience, right? It's not only the high power charging, which 400 kW is our baseline. It's the reliability story. It's the canopies that you still find in a relay. It's the pet waste stations. It's the squeegees. It's the trash. 99.7% uptime we're running at right now. 96% charge success. All that you find at a relay, which, by the way, from a location perspective, you will never see them like the back of a strip mall, right? So we still go for, in some of the examples that we shared with you on relays today, where, for example, we have the one in Texas where it's right next to an amazing smokehouse, Texas smokehouse restaurant, right? So they will always be in the right locations. They will always be in the right place of those locations. And then they also have well-lit, secure canopies, all the other amenities, right? So that raises the bar. We like to think of the rechargers and recharger yachts, not only as a volume product, but ultimately that extra step up.
Yeah. And the other thing that we were talking about today, or you guys were talking about, was your deployment and like where you guys are going. And, I think some of the earlier charging networks, like it was like, we're going to build corridors, we're going to focus on the cities. Yeah. You guys are doing a little bit of a mix. Obviously, you're going to hit some of the bigger cities. You have plans for others, very quickly. You're going to hit some corridors, but you're also going to hit some like vacation destinations. So it's sort of like a complex process.
It is.
Where you try to balance it all.
Well, the balance comes in the breadth of opening roads to EVs North America wide at the same time. So you're right. There's the product classes we covered. So relays, recharger yacht, and beacons. You're going to be able to find those across America. You won't have to wait because we started in one coast. You don't have to wait like 5 years to see them on the other coast. You see us popping up in the East Coast, in the West Coast, in the North, in the South, from coast to coast, from mountain to sea. Effectively, IONNA is popping up at the same time. And to your point, what you're able to find, whether it's in the California market or in the Florida market, Kentucky market, you're going to be able to find corridors. We're going to be there. What we call hybrid stations, which, well, let me cover it this way. So you're going to have the city, MSA, suburban stations, right? So we're going to be there for those customers. You're also going to find us in the corridors where that's either connecting two cities or the major interstates on the greater metropolitan statistical areas. Hybrids, where ultimately there's plenty of stations out there in certain markets where you're close to the highway, you're close to the airport, but there's also people that live around there. And then lastly, another thing that we're doing that you're going to see in force next year is going to be vacation corridors, right? There's so many Americans where they don't really take the long road trip as often across the nation as they do the one that is 150 miles, 200 miles away. You're sharing that your family doesn't live far away from here as a 1 hour drive. Well, normally if you lived here, your Thanksgiving drive might be from here to there, from there to here. We're going to be there as well, right? So vacation corridors, suburban stations, corridor proper, and ultimately the hybrids of those is where you're going to find IONNA nationwide.
Yeah, the Garner station would be perfect for my brothers to charge at. It's like,
and that's a hybrid, right? Yeah. Because it's precisely, there's a significant amount of EVs around Garner, either because they live in Garner proper or South Raleigh, right? And in addition to that, it's a great station to hit as you're coming from south of the Raleigh-Durham area, and ultimately either charge on your way in or charge on your way out.
Yeah. And we're here in the lab, and like, we got some B-roll. It's like all the automakers that are participating are here. But another thing that we learned today is like, you don't have like a gate that's like, if you didn't join, you don't get to come in. And significantly, like, you got to pay us a ton of money to come test. You guys are very open about that.
IONNA's here to change the game, right? Yeah. So when IONNA was started, we had concepts at the time that were revolutionary that now we've proven and you can do in the marketplace and are sustainable as well. That, the relationship between a charging network and the MSP or the OEM, nobody should be really charging for things like plug and charge. So plug and charge just lowers the friction for the transaction to happen. Ultimately, who benefits from the transaction? The CPO, right? It just made it easier for somebody to show up and not have to fiddle with credit cards. Oh, the credit card reader didn't work. Just plug in your car, it works, right? So we see that as something that should just be part of the package. Same thing for quality and testing, right? We don't think that that's something that somebody should be trying to monetize either. At the end of the day, you benefit from making the experience better, the reliability better. And so you've heard the numbers, right? In terms of what we target for first plug success rate, for charge success rate, for plug success rate, for uptime. We're never going to hit those numbers if we don't do as much testing as possible. If we try to gate that and make money from it, there's going to be OEMs that ultimately are either going to, have the accounting team have to approve that first, and or try to, fit it in a budget. Let's just test is basically what we want to do in the marketplace. So whether it's a founding OEM automaker, whether it's a non-founding OEM automaker, whether it's a boutique maker, whether it's one of our hardware partners or somebody else. I mean, whether it's somebody it's a Livewire with their bikes. Like, we're open for everybody to test, and ultimately the learnings there we apply to the network, and ultimately we share with the industry, and it's just going to accelerate charging to be the best it can be in this region as fast as possible.
And it's really cool because we started over on the other side. The office is there. You can literally look out. I can look over there and see people at their desk.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that's really cool. But this lab is also designed, you guys have plans to sort of test out some of the retail experience.
Yeah.
We found the little video game with the retro games over there.
Yeah.
So it's sort of I think this is really impressive that you have sort of said, IONNA is all about the customer experience. So we need to test out, charging, but we also need to test out the amenities that they might use, including squeegees. So it's sort of,
you're right.
This is truly a lab.
It is truly a lab, and more so than a lab, how we normally talk about it, it's a customer experience lab. And to your point, the customer experience doesn't just begin and end with charging. So we truly think of the charging experience at IONNA as something that is not linear, it's parallel. And what you don't see here today, but it rotates in this lab, and you'll start to see more and more, it's whether it's the pylons that we put around the chargers to try to simulate the experience, or whether it's the vending machines, the coffee machines, like you mentioned, the arcade machine. Pretty soon, that 2.0 version of the Just Walk Out market, we're going to have a prototype of that here right before we deploy at Westminster. And some of those things are going to stay. Some of the vision for this campus is that we will grow to also have some of those things be customer facing. So we already do clinics, but so that's customer facing, but effectively it's customer facing scheduled, to put some of these things out there so they're customer facing unscheduled, right? So somebody can come in here and experience this as sort of like a beta site, if you will, right? All that basically happens here as that quarterback lab, to all those receiver labs at each one of the OEMs.
That's very cool. And I just thought of a question. I'm going to ask this one for Liv.
Yeah.
One of the things that we do, when we go visit charging stations, we always try to look at accessibility. So do you have any thoughts or plans of maybe have a day when people that are mobility limited, whether it's on crutches or wheelchairs, how do they interact and get around, with bollards in place?
Absolutely. That's actually something that we've done in our customer clinics as well. Mm-hmm. And if you've noticed, and that's harder to see here in the lab, but if you've noticed that at our IONNA stations, including Oceanside Vista, we are not only ADA compliant, but we go further, right? So the ease to be able to access the screen, some future changes that we're going to make in terms of bringing the screen to the front to make that even easier for accessibility as well. The arms, the height, where we put the pylons, absolutely everything that we do at IONNA is to make it completely inclusive, and not just necessarily on the 1 or 2 stalls that, for example, you're required by law.
That's great to hear. Well, this has been impressive. This whole day has been just fantastic. Thank you for spending some time with us one-on-one, but for the whole day.
No, thank you. Did you get a chance to go to Apex or Garner yet?
No, that's what
we're try to hit him.
That's the only reason I'm rushing. Is we get to go to visit one of those.
Oh, that's really cool. Do you know you can take some of the OEM vehicles as well?
We're going to take this one.
Really cool. Really cool. Yes. And that's the other thing that today you get to see a display of the founding OEM vehicles. We have so many vehicles on rotation here, and I'm sure you'll get another chance to come here, and you'll even be able to then drive some stuff that is not necessarily in market yet, which is the other cool thing with IONNA, Because not only do we test the stuff that is in market, as firmware updates are happening to those vehicles, we also get to test the stuff right before it comes here.
Cool.
Just a couple of days ago, this was full of BMW iX3s, for example.
Oh,
Yeah, that's going to be a cool car.
That would have been nice.
Yeah,
That'd have been nice.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for coming.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So today, in addition to IONNA execs and engineers, each of the auto manufacturers that's participating had people here today, except for Honda, but it was really a great representation, and I'm just going to say, Kia is here. I'll let you introduce yourself and what you do with Kia.
Thank you for the opportunity, first off, to meet with us. My name's Orth Hedrick. I'm Executive Director in Product Management.
So it's very cool to have all of you guys here, because one of the questions I asked earlier was, I can imagine like having two bosses. Well, IONNA sort of has like 7 auto manufacturers. Eight.
Even more.
8 auto manufacturers.
8 is
7
enough.
was here today.
8 is enough.
I can imagine how difficult that is, but it seems like the vibe that I got from all of you guys is you are all focused on the same thing that IONNA is focused on.
Yes.
Customer experience.
Yes.
When it comes to charging.
And I think all of us, we're all global companies. So we see what's going on across the globe. Everything's moving to EVs. We're in a lull right now, and all of us wanted to come together with a common understanding that we need to be part of the solution. We need to do everything that we can, including joining this IONNA network, to help all of us collectively work on improving the out-of-home charging experience. And we focus on that, and it's been amazing. Really, really nice.
And Kia specifically, we're getting ready to take this one over to, I think, the Apex, maybe the Garner site. But this is sort of like a great relationship for Kia, because it's a 400 kilowatt charger.
Right.
This thing can charge like a beast.
Yes, absolutely. That new platform, when they developed eGMP, they specifically wanted to be state of the art, and they succeeded.
Yeah. And the other thing that IONNA is offering, because this one behind us is CCS only.
Yes.
But this one has NACS.
Yes.
IONNA is deploying both.
That's correct.
How important was that for you guys to see?
For us, we wanted to have the broadest application for every vehicle that's out there. And we know that all of us are in the process of transitioning over to NACS. Some are on a faster schedule than not. And it's very similar to USB-A versus USB-C. When do you make the decision to go to a USB-C? So we see a lot of manufacturers having both A and C. It's a similar thing with IONNA. They wanted to make sure they cover everything. And it's really, really been helpful, because now Tesla, customers or anybody else that has that, they can pull right up, as opposed to having someone who has a CCS, they can pull up also.
And Kia is taking care of their people with CCS ports. You guys offer adapters.
Yes, absolutely.
And you can get the opposite way now.
That's right. And it's for level 2 and also for level 1. So we have both.
Very cool.
Depending on how you charge.
Very cool. Now, so working with all of these other brands, like I said, it seems like it could be a very contentious relationship, but explain how that works. You guys have like a board that meets regularly with IONNA?
And part of the charter is that we have an antitrust clause in there. So at the beginning of the meeting, typically it's Seth who takes us through the one slide, and he says, this is antitrust. Here's the rules. We can't talk. We're here to focus only on matters that are associated with IONNA. We can't talk about pricing. We can't talk about features. We can't talk about anything. So he's very clear about it, and they have a lot of discipline on this. So all of us understand why we're here. We're all joining together specifically to make IONNA the best it can be, because we're all investing in it. So as a collective effort, when humans get together and they work together, the whole thing's better than individuals. That's the whole point. And this is the same kind of experience on the board, and it's working very well.
And one of the things they've talked about is, like, right now they don't have an app. There is a possibility that they could do an app, but they really want to rely on the in-car experience and
that's right.
the Kia app.
That's right.
So do you want to talk about that, like how you guys are integrating, not just IONNA, but just overall being able to make that a good experience?
Well, we work a lot with the other networks also, and we make sure we're compatible. There's a lot of work on the back end. ChargePoint has been very, very helpful for us to be the aggregator, so we're able to kind of work across these different networks. And it's similar with IONNA. We're able to actually work directly with the engineers and build all that into our basic software. So it's seamless, it's native and it's seamless, because we're one of the founding members.
Yeah.
And our plug and charge is going to be, we just launched it on the EV9 over the Thanksgiving weekend, and the EV6 came out in October. So we're fully plug and charge on IONNA.
That's very cool. That
Yes.
was going to be my next question, because everybody says 2026 is going to be your plug and charge.
Yes, we're there already.
And you're there already.
Yeah.
Very cool. IONNA keeps saying 30,000 ports by 2030. And it seems like you guys all have trust in that.
Yes.
That it's going to happen.
We, I think what we're noticing is, they're only 22 months old, and it was slow at first until they got their rhythm. Aaron Wolf has been instrumental in getting a long pipeline of locations that are already under contract. They're over 300.
Yeah.
So that gives a lot of runway for IONNA to start working on with the utilities and getting the necessary paperwork on with the local utility, and then also with the local municipalities getting permits and everything put in place. So when you have that length of runway, it can move a lot quicker. And they also have a very robust development process. So you're putting these things on all the time, so they've got it down. And it's a team that just goes from one to the next.
And I keep saying that was the last question, but here's the other one. They mentioned, like, we're in their lab here, but they mentioned it, like, at each manufacturer.
Yes.
You guys have, like, an IONNA charger.
We have a charger in our headquarters in Irvine. If you want to stop by and take a look at it, we have it in the back, and our engineers work directly with IONNA. And if there's a new software update, we test it on ours. We send the data to them. They can replicate it here. And if there's a glitch or a hang-up, we can both work on it at the same time. So they work hand in hand on a daily basis.
Very cool. Well, that sounds impressive.
We'll enjoy the EV9. It's a fantastic vehicle. We're really proud of it. It's made in Georgia.
Yeah.
So both the EV6 and the EV9 are both made in Georgia, and it's the latest technology. This specific one is the Nightfall edition, with the dark roof. And our CEO, he's actually the one that came up with that. So
it looks really sharp
awesome.
here.
And they run. And wait till you see how quiet and smooth it is.
I can't wait.
All right.
Well, thanks so much.
All right. Enjoy your experience. Thank you.
Everybody's here.
Hello.
Miss GoElectric.
From Miss GoElectric, and producer Tim, who's trying to hide off camera. Wait,
He's
taking
doing his
footage.
job off camera.
This was a really amazing and intimate look at IONNA, but I love that they brought in some incredible creators in the EV space, like Miss GoElectric.
Oh, you guys.
Oh man, I'm so psyched to be here. What car did you pick to go to?
I'm taking my rental car, which is a Hyundai Ioniq 5.
Nice, that's awesome. Shout out to them for fetching us from the airport in that sweet Hyundai Ioniq 5. Well, which charger are you going to?
I'm going to go to the Apex one, I think.
A little bit closer. Yeah.
Yeah, same. How's today been for you?
Well, I will say it was pretty good. I mean, we asked a ton of questions and they provided as much as they could as far as answers go. Yeah, and it's still early days, but it was very positive overall from everyone, which, you can kind of expect. But the enthusiasm, I think, was a little bit more than I expected. So I think it was good.
I think it was pretty awesome because they had a representative who was asking questions, and then they had Miss GoElectric, Lacey, and Kyle, who were asking some hardball questions.
He asked some hardball questions.
You did too. Yeah, you did too, which was awesome.
I don't even remember my question now.
I know, I don't either.
So good that you can't even remember.
I love that. But that's like part of the joy of being able to come to this stuff, is that like we get to dig in and like ask these real questions, like how is this going to impact us like out there in the world. I'm excited, and I think they're definitely listening. Like they've already been listening to people and making changes, so that's cool.
And Lacey wants to get on the road. So.
Okay.
I just think that there's a gap in the market right now for everybody else that's not Tesla, and they have a big opportunity to seize that number 2, and maybe eventually they'll be number 1 spot. But I mean, that is a big feat, but they're doing a lot of the right things. So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I think one of the big takeaways is like they're doing the right things, but they're also very ambitious. And like maintenance is easy in year 1, but how about year 3? And not saying they're going to fail, but let's wait and see.
Yeah, agreed. Let's go charge.
Sweet. They're on it. They're going to charge, and we will meet them there shortly. Bye.
Bye.
The IONNA vibe is here in their office space, and everything looks so awesome. We're going to take you for a quick tour, starting with their lockers here, obviously IONNA branded, but check out their lounge area. What's the
Break room.
Their lunch area, espresso yourself. I love their branding so much. Everything is on point, matches the chargers so well. Kick back and espresso yourself. Love that. Let's stroll on down here. As you can see, there's so many people, other creators who've come in, Kyle, Lacey, Tom. They're going to have tons of content. They already have tons of content. But I love their little postcard wall, which shows that, I'm assuming, like all the places where they're going to be.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the address.
Look.
Where's this side? There it is.
Side. I love that. Obviously, we went to the pre-opening of the Oceanside facility. That's going to come online shortly, but it's so awesome to see these popping up. We have two right where we are now. So look over here and see if you can spot where you
I'll
live.
scan real quick and then we'll go out.
Oh, there's Colorado. This is really fun. It's really loud in here, but we just wanted to take you for this quick tour in their break room. That's the word. Jeez. Let's check out the office. I dig that they have the IONNA theme sort of like
In the carpet.
in the carpet. IONNA on their boards here, but everyone's hard at work. Apparently they've been prepped for all of us to come in and cause a ruckus. But this place, they got the bid to build this like what, a year and a half ago to put this in here.
Yeah, it's been
And,
really quick. And we're just going to go
Scroll on
straight
through.
through because we're not going to show you guys just cubicle after cubicle, people's email. We don't need to do that, but we'll just go over here. Like you can see, like they have their, they're planning stuff out, like what's coming. I can see like permitting, those type of things. We won't go.
And they have private meeting rooms down there, which I always dig seeing.
Yeah.
So like people can go and have their quiet space. Then further down, let's sneak by people working. Apex, can't wait to go, whoops, as I show you guys, can't wait to go check that out.
And then you can see they got room for more people, and it's sort of neat. Some of these have stickies on them. So Lucille will be here at some point. So that's really cool that they're already like they've hired. I'm guessing they're all ready. I just love that we have this view out here where you can see that they're testing the various different cars, and we'll get into all of this when we go out there. But I think it's just really cool that there's the insight that you can sort of see what's going on both sides of things. So, if they're having a problem over there, they can come right over here and talk to somebody about it. So
It's super integrated. Yeah, obviously like a very collaborative workspace. Everyone is bustling and working together. And actually, I'll just pan slowly and show you guys, like even considering we're all here. You
And
just want to
Kevin,
move in?
just so you know, this is where you'll be sitting. You'll have a
Kevin.
great view. Hi, Kevin. Tad. Hi, Tad. John. Hope
Hi,
to see you here
John.
soon. Maybe we'll come back next year and we'll say hi.
I want to find a live in Patrick so we can just move in.
Well, I was just saying, I'm just going to write a sticky and slap it on the
should do
desk and be
that.
like, hey, you got a desk for me. So,
Yeah, why not? If we find a blank one.
all right, let's keep going.
Yeah. Let's follow Patrick on down to where we actually entered, where
Yeah.
all the hubbub is.
Just one little detail over here that's really cool. So these aren't, of course, going at every charging station, but some of them, they're going to have like a little play arcade here with some retro games. I can see like 1943, Battlezone, Asteroids. Oh, I might be over here. Centipede. Can we go scroll down? Wow, it has a lot of these.
Joust.
So yeah, this will be a little bit of a fun like retro thing, and I think it's really cool. Driving an EV, advanced technology, you can go in and play some retro games.
Well, and their vibe is super retro. It's such a
Yeah.
nod to the gas stations of the past, I guess.
Pac-Man. Oh, this is going to be so fun.
RoboCop, that's crazy. That's awesome.
So anyways, this is a little sneak peek at some of the stuff that could be coming to one of the rechargeries near you.
And now we are in the Kia EV9 racing towards the Apex rechargery, which I think we're going to do a separate video with.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
not
pretty sure we could do a separate video with that. But if
Yeah.
not, it's right here. Otherwise, we'll link to it.
Yeah, but this has been such an incredible day, like deep dive intensive with IONNA engineers, with IONNA partners, as Patrick navigates. It's been such a dense day of information that we had to finish this video on the road, which is great. Some people had even less time. Tom Malogny was literally just leaving for the airport right now, which is crazy. But some some of the things that really stood out to me, Patrick and I were just chatting about this, and as he navigates, I will just share with you. So some of the sites that we're seeing are their relay sites, right? So they have their relay sites, which are like 8 to 10 stalls, I think it is, right? And then they have their rechargeries, which are like 10 to 20 stalls, and then their beacons, which are 24 plus stalls. And all of these are 400 kilowatt charging stations. So, so we have a lot of relays right now, which are these smaller ones, but their commitment, their goal is that is only going to be 20% of their entire lineup. And 70 to 80% is going to be the huge stations. These like basically gas stations. And their feelings are that EV users shouldn't have anything less than gas station users experience. Now, we should have all the amenities. We should have everything that we can expect, from squeegees to trash to accessibility to
awnings
and canopies.
And there are some current sites that don't have great lighting or awnings, and they're like, we're going to do our best to go back. It was warning me, but there's nobody there. They're going to do their best to go back and try to rectify those situations, depending on the local area and whether or not they'll allow it and stuff like that. But yeah, they really do want to make it a good experience.
Yeah, and I love that. So their goal is they are getting these units in the ground. They are being as fast as they can. They literally just hit 49 stations as we were here. I think they had 45 earlier
45
today.
This morning.
Yep. And then they hit 49. We didn't hear the gong, and we didn't gong the gong. Every new station that they open, they gong a gong. So that's part of their culture, because it's a big thing. And they're trying to roll out hard and fast their goal of 30,000 plugs, basically 30,000 ports by the end of the decade, which is only 4 years time. I know that's crazy. So that's a lofty goal, but obviously that's why they are rolling out hard and fast. And some places like the Oceanside installation, I know we have a little bit of B-roll of that, doesn't have a canopy yet, but they are going back, because these are things that they're not budging on. They're not budging on canopies.
And that one, I could see that might be one where the property owner may not allow canopies, but if nothing else, they'll go back and improve the lighting or whatever. But it's just sort of like that, conscious decision. And like Seth was saying, the CEO was like, let's make decisions fast. We don't need to, we can't put the site in because we can't put the canopy in yet. So they're like, let's just put the site in and we can go back.
Yeah, and there's so much stuff that we learned today. So we might even do some follow-up videos, because there's a lot of stuff that we want to share with you guys. But some of the gems were they aim to purchase properties so that they can buy land that they can build on without limitations. They want to be able to build pull-through stalls without limitations and canopies and all that stuff. And also that they are buying more land than they might need, because they're intending to expand or expecting to, and also expand with the amenities. So their intention is that if they have, I think the Apex rechargery, they have double the size than they're actually using, because they might be able to have leasing partners who might open a restaurant or something like that. Yeah, it might have been Garner.
We got a lot of information, so it's sort of very hard to remember everything. But yeah, those are some of the key details of they will lease a site, but they will buy a site, and there are. It sounds like one of the key things, key takeaways, is that this team that they have built is empowered to make very quick decisions. And I think that is key, because it's it really goes into if they can find a site that they can buy. They mentioned sometimes leasing can take months and months to work out a leasing deal, but there may be a nearby site that they could buy
within 4 to 5
days.
Yeah.
And then one of the questions is well, if you could buy a site or partner with Sheets at an interchange, which would you do? And they're like, I don't know, maybe both.
Yeah.
So it really is cool to see how quickly they are looking, and they're not going like we want them spaced 50 miles apart. They're just going after where it makes sense. So like the one in Vista is 4 miles, maybe 5 miles from the one in Oceanside. Those are right by us. That's why we keep mentioning it. So they really are targeting with rapid deployment, and there's a big mix of factors that they're using to decide where they're going to deploy them at.
Yeah, and they have a really lean but empowered workforce. So that's some of the ways they were sharing about how they are saving money. So like it's a very intentional thing. They know how they're going to make money. They know how they are making money, because they're certainly concerned about like how is public charging profitable, and they definitely have this all planned out. And some part of that is like this really lean, talented team of empowered people. And so like their acquisition team that goes out and assesses different sites, they also do things like they look for mom and pop locations nearby, like local run establishments that that would benefit from having a charger there, or that the people who use the charger will benefit from. Like we saw in Oceanside, there was a donut shop right there, a little local place. And then they also mentioned that like one of the great things about having those locations is that you have someone who cares about it, who's there always. And that's also kind of a part of it, is like they're contributing to that environment and contributing to it always being awesome, I think.
And the other key that I think that I took away from today is the flexibility that they're trying to build into this. Is like they can lease, they can buy, they can work with an established restaurant. There's one location where there was a restaurant that is nobody was really it was basically a vacant building, so they help find a tenant, and that restaurant's going to be opening by the end of the year. So it's like this flexibility, I think, is really key as well, that they are going into different locations, they're going into cities, they're going into corridors. So it's really interesting, and the flexibility being applied not only with the team members, but and how they build sites, I think is going to be really key. And then look, they're way back there. You don't need to warn me. But the flexibility with the charging partners or the manufacturers as well. They know some of the manufacturers are still on CCS. Others are switching to NACS. Those manufacturers have all sold a ton of cars with CCS, so they're not going to forget them. So it's sort of like they don't want to get locked into like, we're going next by this date. They're like, we're going to see.
But it's also cool. So there's so much here. I think we're definitely going to do another follow-up video, because we have slides to talk about all sorts of good stuff. But having all the manufacturers there, was cool to hear that they are fueling each other, right? So like one manufacturer gets plug-in charged, then the other ones are like, oh, we need to speed up and get that. Like, it's good. And they talked about, I can't remember which one it was, but they talked about how competition is good. So this is like a beautiful collaboration, and also it's competition at the same time. Like, they know that they have to all work together to make charging happen, right? To make EVs happen and to make public charging happen. And at the same time, they all want to make the best vehicle. And this collaboration is part of it. So it's really, really cool.
And they mentioned that they have their board meeting, and Seth comes in with his chart, and it'll be like, I won't say plug and charge, but maybe something like plug and charge. This one. 59 DNA. Okay, I got to just make sure I'm taking it the right way. But it comes with the chart, and say like if it were like plug and charge, he might show like, okay, 3 of 8 have plug and charge, and they start that board meeting with that very prominently displayed. And that little friendly competition is going to help everybody out, because we're all going to get a better product out of that. But they also talked about like some of the features that they are working on. It's not going to be like, all right, if everybody's ready, now we're going to turn the feature on. If they're ready, they're going to turn it on, and whoever gets to it first can roll it out first. And that may include some member pricing or favorable pricing for if you own a Kia, for example, you may get a discount rate or something like that. That may be coming. Not sure what that'll mean for, probably like, they're still working on it.
I think Kia might have said probably not, but some of the other one, right? I can't remember what they said. Everyone had different input and different ideas, which is kind of cool too, because then we're getting a variety of responses to this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we wrap up?
Yeah, we should wrap up. We're about maybe 2 miles from the charger.
We're about to get there. It's 4:44 p.m. We have been going since the crack of dawn, and it's been so much fun. Super quick before we finish up, your first 10 minutes behind the wheel of an EV9.
Oh, I like it. We were just in a Ioniq 9, so it feels very similar, except
Nice.
I feel like I got this like boxy hood and stuff like that.
Love the box.
But drives, of course, very similar. Infotainment is very similar, so I'm liking it. And I imagine if it charges as well as the Ioniq 9, it's going to be great. We're at 32% state of charge, and it'll rip, because
Nice.
it's a 400 kilowatt charger. So excited to go give that a try.
I love this vibe. I love the Kia EV3, which is basically the miniature version of this. Love a little boxy thing. This is a giant boxy thing, but it's still awesome. I really dig this. Anyways, this is it. This was our video here. We don't know if it's going to be the whole thing or if we're going to piece it apart. Like our deep intensive with IONNA today. This was so awesome. So awesome. Let us know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to IONNA and for all the other automakers for putting this media day together so that we can all have this intensive time, learn about them more and all of their goals, plans, and dreams, and huge goals of 30,000 ports by 4 years' time. A huge thank you to our patrons whose names are scrolling across the screen right now. We saw a little something here today that I'm going to try and get to send to you guys. They don't know it yet. I don't know if they have enough of them, but we're going to try. A huge thank you to you, our YouTube members too. We appreciate you guys so much and your support of us and this channel. So while Patrick tries to navigate, we're going to head out. So just remember that whatever you drive and wherever you charge it, whether it's at an IONNA or not. Where are we going?
Apex.
Wherever. Apex. Enjoy the ride. Bye.